Alright, so senza manje question 2. So question 2 in allow 2.1, we have a statement, we have a diagram, we cut season play, and we have a question. Starting with 3 forces A, B, and C of magnitudes 240 newtons, 350 newtons, and 200 newtons, respectively, act on point O in the directions as shown below. The forces are not drawn to scale. Alright, some understand that you love. Kunama force out 3, A, B, and C, acting on a common point, O. La. So, and then their magnitudes are 240 newtons A, 350 newtons B, 200 newtons C. But they're acting at a certain angle. And then the forces are not drawn to scale, which means 350 newtons and they are not drawn to scale. And then define the term resultant force. Alright, so first things first, you only is to define the term resultant force. Iyini resultant force, define the net force, the sum of all the forces. Okushukuthi i-resultant force uma siyichaza nje kahle ngama-terms asimple, i-force eyodwa kahle kahle elingana or ongakwazi ukuyi-representa as all the other forces, wonke amanye ama-forces acting on the same object with their magnitudes and direction. Okusho ukuthi le force le iyodwa, i-magnitude yayo ne-direction yayo ilingana nawo wonke ama-force ehlanganisiwe mawubheka ama-magnitudes nama-directions abo, which means it is a single force that can represent all the forces acting on an object with respect to their magnitude and direction. Or omunye angathi a single force having the same effect as all the other forces acting on an object with their magnitudes and direction. Kukwena uthi uzobichaza ngayiphi indlela, yiphi indlela oyifundile, but as long as kuyi-force eyodwa elingana na wonke, it is the vector sum of two or more forces added together algebraically. Yabo? So ziningi indlela ongayisho ngayo lento, because different textbooks express the resultant force ngendlela engafani. So asiqale nini 2.1.1, define the term resultant force. So resultant force, it is a force that can represent, which means if force ongakwazi ukuyiveza kahle kahle, it is a force that can represent all, noma sithi two or more, that can represent two or more forces. A force that can represent two or more forces acting, it's not added. A force that can represent two or more forces acting on an object. Force that can represent two or more forces acting on an object, which means the force can be represented. It can be represented as two or more forces acting on an object having the same magnitude and direction as all the other forces combined. So mawuhlanganisa wonke amanye ama forces uthola ini resultant force yona vele. So in this case la we see ukuthi u-A horizontal direction, which means we only have the x la, and which means the y is 0. La it is acting at 70 degrees. So la kuzomela sithola i-component yakhona ya x neya y, and then nala kumele sithole i-component ya x neya y. So since ku-50 la, u-50 ngithi la, which means la u-40 because kuzoba u-90 sekuwonke. Yabo? So ulanjwa ku-70, which means la kuzoba u-20 kanje. Yeah. So we can go on to the next question manje, because everything abasibuze yona siyibhalile and no understand la sesiyazi usikwenzakala nama-forces of 3 acting on the same object kahle kahle. So all these 3 objects azolingana ne-force eyodwa, which is what we call the resultant force, the net force, or the algebraic sum of 2 or more. The algebraic sum of 2 or more forces joined together. Pen. So after the sesiwenza umbuzo whereby bazosibuza kwi-calculator yona le magnitude of the resultant force, and after that sesiyicalculate-ile ke uzobona ukuthi kuzobe sekubuya izinto zakudala owawuzenza, things like the theorem of Pythagoras, since we will be dealing with right angle triangles, things like ukuthola i-horizontal component nayo kumele uyenze, because you learned it this year, this term, kuleyo term ofunda kuyona, but ke sizoqala ngayo. So wena just brace yourself, wenze sure ukuthi wonke ama-calculations akho uwenza ngesineke, awajahe, uyanaka. And then after that mawuzohlala nje just 5 minutes uyibuka lento zami uyiphendula, uzobona ukuthi it will be different than just looking it for 10 seconds masuthi hayi iyangihlula, uyabona. Just wait, give yourself time, izoyifikela ama-thoughts abalulekile azokucabangisa on how to answer lo mbuzo lo olandelayo. Asambe siyobheka. Alright, so for 5 marks, calculate the magnitude of the resultant force. So the horizontal components of all the forces and the vertical components of all the forces. So the vector sum yakon. So let's just start with the sum of all the x components. You know? Going with A x component yakon 240 vele. You know? Ila vele, it's not at an angle. So 240, and then so it's plus B lo is at an angle of 70, so with 350 cos of 70 kuzoba 350 cos of 70 plus sinale kuzoba 200 cos 40. So 200 cos of 40. But ke asifake nama directions it. Because abalekile ama directions. So what do we have la? A. Nango la. This is the first force. And then le njoba eyale, which means the component yakhe ila. Kune component ila. So bx, this is just A. And then we also have another component eyangala. Yabo? They are 200. So kukhona enye ela, bese C x. Yabo, so awu 2 ayangala, iyodwa eyangala. So we can just say left is positive or right is positive. Kuyafana. It's up to you. So let's just say right is positive. So uma sithi right positive, lo uzokwenza ukuthi wonke ama-force aka right abe positive. So leya B no x, leya la, eya 350 cos of 70 le izosala i-positive, but u-240 uzosala abe negative, nalo ongala uzosala abe negative. And then ke sesokwenza njani? So thatha i-calculator sesiyobala. So asuseni lo. Okay, so negative 240 plus 350 cos of 70 minus 200 cos of 70. It's all negative 188. Negative 188,70 newtons. In Lena, why ngisebenzisa cos? It is because the formula leyana ithi r x is equals to r cos theta. Le enye ya y ithi ry is equals to r sin theta. Asenzeni ke ama verticals manje y. So the sum of all the y forces is equals to go y. Y wala wa a is 0, so ngiyesubala. Y ka b uzoba 350 sin of 70. So 350 sine of 70 plus, and then y ka c uzoba 200 sine 40. 200 sine 40, but ke ama directions ik la uzoba kanje athi uyaphezulu lo oka b y, and then lo owa c uyaphansi. So uma sithi up is positive la, so sithi up is positive, that means lo oka b uzosala e positive, but lo oka c uzosala kanjani e negative. Asifakeni ke ini i final answer yethu. For y it's 350 sine 70 minus 200 sine 40. Lapha we have 200,33 newtons. In there, so now sesiyazi i-resultant force squared is equal to the sum of all the x squared plus the sum of all the y squared. Yabo, i-theorem of Pythagoras le. So r kahle kahle is equal to the square root of bani x negative 188,70 squared plus le 200,33 squared. So the resultant force is the square root of negative 188,70 squared plus 200,33 squared. Sneakers out 275,21 newtons. As any, the answer is for our resultant vector. So this is how we calculate any resultant vector if we are given our components. But our angles, because you could make a mistake, which is fine. You can always go back, recheck the answer when you're done with the test, and if you realize it's okay, so let's move on to the next question. Alright, now question 2.2. So the apparatus shown below was used to determine the resultant of two coplanar forces. Coplanar forces, forces on the same plane. F1 and F2. So now electricity ukona amaphuliza la, and then bafake intambo la, and then nama weights of 77 grams. Yabo? So if we could draw a free body diagram, since Labati calculates the magnitude of the force 1. So if we draw a free body diagram, kona force 1 la, and then la kona e weights. Yeah, and this is not moving, therefore these two are equal. F1 is equal to W is equal to mg. Oh my gosh. Calculate the magnitude of the force 1. So force 1 is equal to mg. So force 1 is equal to mass, which is 77 grams. And how do we convert grams to kilograms? We divide by 1000. 77 all over 1000 multiplied by the gravitational acceleration of the Earth, which is 9,8. And F1, here the answer is today. So the calculator, 77 all over 1000 multiplied by 9,8. See, so 0.7546 newtons. Yeah, so I'm going to round off 0.75 newtons. And then that is the magnitude of force 1. So, just see force 1 is over. Simple injila. Force 1 is 0.7546 newtons. Force 1 for 2 marks in force 1, and what we did the weight will be equal to any that force 1, which is the tension, and weight is the gravitational force exerted by the Earth on any object. It pulls all the objects towards the center of the Earth. uyena-ke lo mass times the gravitational acceleration of the earth. I-mass ibathe u-77 grams. So awusikwazi ukusebenza nama-grams kwi-physics, sisebenzisa nama-kilograms. Not ukuthi asikwazi, our standardized unit is ama-kilograms like South Africa. So whenever we do ama-calculations, we perform using ama-kilograms I mean. Therefore, if uzonikezwa ama-grams, you have to convert first and then ukwazi uqhubeka neformula yakho. So njengoba sinikeze u-77 grams, bekubalulekile simdivide ngo-1000 because 1 kilogram is made up of 1000 grams. So sizomdivide ngo-1000 and then you can multiply by 9.8 and get your final answer. And then maybe you might use the answer somewhere else, so better use the around of fee just in case, just to get a more accurate answer. Yeah, but okay, I've written it down. Gala, you can't see a diagram. What you can do is send a message on WhatsApp and request any yona question paper, and then must we attend to now you want a memo. You could watch the video again, check kanjani, or you could request a study guide which has guidelines and answers on how to answer the question lava. So let's move on to question 2.2.2. Alright, so now nice and simple. Awudingile ukuspenda isikhathi eside. It's just that indlela abawuphrase ngawo iyona into ebuye ngathi iyadida. Kuthiwa a mirror is used to plot the images of the forces acting in the string. Give a reason why a mirror is used. Nasi lesibuko lesinyama this is square because le ngaphakathi it forms in the paper sheets, the orange. Alright, so why is the mirror used? Uma kukhona isibuko bazokwazi phela ukumaka ama-strings, bazokwazi ukwabona kahle ngemumva ngithi kwesibuko azobe because uzokwenza i-reflection of course angithi. So when they use ama-mirrors, it is so it's efficient because it's easy to mark or plot the strings. Yabo? Ukukala lo. And then any into ungayisho when looking at the forces. Okay, so noma sithi the angle, or when looking at the forces on the string, the angle changes when viewed. Uma beyibuka at different angles, iyashintsha lento abayibuka lapha ngemuva on the mirror. Yabo? So this is what you do. Why besebenzise ini isibuko khona bezokwazi ukunavigate kahle mawukuthi i-string kumele sime at a certain direction or kumele sisikancane ka left noma ka right, they will use sona lesibuko because it shows them very the accurate information coming exactly from the experiment. So isibuko was a good thing instead of iplango mhlambi yabo like bilizo ibamba, but the only problem is ubunge ukwazi ukubona kahle yabo. So sibonene umbuzo olandela. Alright, so mind you, so hence calculate the mass of x for 2 marks. Let's balance the mass of x, but it's 2 marks. When they made it winner, so calculator should be equaling back. So remember, la force 1 is 0.7546, and then force 2 lo ola kululu kumthola uzolingana no bawona, uzolingana no nale eyala. Why? Because the weight eyala izolingana nale force leyala, kanti weight eyala iyafana nale eyala. Yabo? So the mass of this is very small, but okay, since E balanced le, what you do is 0.754 0.7546 is the accurate value of any force 1. Angithi force 1 is actually the tension force. The tension force eqhamukapi from the string, because siyazi ukuthi tension it is a force that exists between the string. Angithi alright, and then weight it is a force that pulls down wonke ama objects. Ile force le yenzani ikwenza ukuthi everything that goes up must come down. Yabo? Alright, so no 0.7546 uma senza simdivide ngo 9.8, 0.7546 simdivide ngo 9.8 sithola bani u 0.0077. Yabo? Because remember ukuthi W is equals to mg. Angithi ngikhohlwe lo iformula oyiqala ka grade 8 or 9. Yabo? Usakhuluma ngegravity, kusathiwa everything that must go up must come down. Into efanayo wena leyo 7546. Alright, so what you do lana ukwazi ukuyithola mass of x. Mass of x ile eyala. Angithi, so which means kumele kumele uyazi it is the force F3. Kumele uwazi. Angithi, but ke buka lama forces lawa kunento emele uyinayo ebona ukuthi laba force lawa njengoba ebheke phansi ngomathathu, they are balanced by ama weights. Angithi, they are balanced by ama weights, but laba bobabili babalansa lo oyedwa, laba bobabili babalansa lo oyedwa. So uma sithi 0.7546 times 2 sizothola F3, which is 1.5092 uzolingana no mass multiplied by g 9.8. Ngoba lo g lo uthola phi kwi data sheet le ekhona ngemuva kwebhuku lethu, kwe question paper yethu la nje ekugcineni nansi nayo i-data sheet oyisebenzisayo, because bakutshelile ukuthi you can use it. Angithi, so now acceleration due to gravity you 9.8. Sometimes bakunike bathi you 9.81, so which means on all your calculations just for that paper usebenzisa leyo number. So now m is equals to 1.5092 divided by 9.8. Sizothola la 0.145 kilograms. Yona answers is omunye angayibhala ngo athi 154 grams. It is the same thing as uthi 0.154 kilograms, because ma we multiply ngo 1000 angithi 1 kilogram is equals to 1000 grams. Okusho ukuthi mawusuka from kilogram to gram you multiply by 1000. So lo 0.154 mawuzo multiply ngo 1000 you get 154 grams as our answer as the mass of x. Selumbuzo landela.